Yeah, exactly. All right, go ahead. Start with C. Find the range of values of k for which this expression is always positive. When will you have something, when will you have a parabola always being positive? There you go. That's a weird one. When what? When x is greater than 0. Incorrect. No. For it to always be positive, it's got to essentially look like this, let's say. There you go. There's your parabola. It's always positive. Or this one here. This is always negative. The reason why these two are always positive or always negative is because there's no intercepts. If there were intercepts, that means it's going to cut from positive, become a 0, and then eventually become negatives. So what does this mean compared to this one? What am I trying to make you guys understand? For it to always be positive or always be negative? No idea? Yep. 0. 0 roots. It's going to have no roots. For it to always be positive, are there any roots? No. Here, for it to just be a normal one that you're used to, it's got 2 roots. So it works. So for it to always be positive, your discriminant must be less than 0. What about if it's always negative? Same thing, isn't it? Discriminant's still got to always be less than 0. So what's the difference between this and this? It's your value in front of your x squared. If it's either happy or sad. So for both of these, it's like this. It's just this a must be less than 0, whereas this one, this a is bigger than 0. All right, go ahead. Try to do it. Discriminant. Start using it. Solve it for less than 0. Hopefully you'll get the answer out. You spoke. Yes. Okay, here we go. The discriminant is b squared minus 4 times a times c. Less than 0. Nine minus 8 minus 4k less than 0. 1 take away 4k less than 0. Minus 4k less than negative 1. K has got to be greater than a quarter. So as long as k is greater than a quarter, is that what we got? As long as k is greater than a quarter, this here will never have any roots. So it will always be positive. Okay. Any questions? Jana, you look like you've got a question, but you're not saying anything. Where's the 4 coming from? B, do you know what the formula is for discriminant? No, you didn't. What's your quadratic formula? No, quadratic formula. Minus B.
Minus B,
Plus minus square root. B squared minus 4AC. That is your discriminant inside the square root. So B, 3 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is K plus 2. B squared minus 4AC. What a 2. All right. Moving on. This one looks interesting. Question 12, 9 marks. All right, start reading. Line L cuts the, well, you probably have to put all this in. So it'll be good if you've got grid paper, it probably makes it a little bit easier. If not, make sure you write it as accurate as you can. Line L cuts the axes at the points of -2 and 0 and 0 and 4. Line M passes through 0 and -6 and is parallel to line L. And the point B lies on the line M, line N. Oh, there's a lot of things happening. One step back. All good. Alright, let me go up as well and start writing this down. Line L cuts the axes at -2 and 0, 0 and 4. So that's line L. Line M passes through. Line M passes through 0 and -6 and is parallel to this one. Okay. Something like that. The point B, which is 3 and 0 right there, lies on the line M. Ugh. There it is. And again, parallel. The point B, that's B. And that was A. Line N. So that's line L, that's line M. The line N also passes through B and is perpendicular to line M. So perpendicular, passing through B. That's line N. The point C is the point intersection of the lines L and N. C. All right. Now, I. What are the coordinates of C? So you have to know what to do. You've got to know pretty much what it has guided you to do. To me, it's telling me I need to find the gradient of line M. Because once I know the gradient of line M, I can work out the gradient of line N because it's perpendicular. Once I know the gradient of line N, I have one point. I have another point. I can probably solve that simultaneously. If I'm not able to, then we'll create another equation to do that. So, how do we find the gradient of AB? Well, it's very easy. You know the line M is A, 0, -6, and B is 3 and 0. So the gradient of AB would be y2 minus y1, which is -6, on x2 minus x1, -3. So that's +2. Now I know my gradient of line N. Gradient of my line N will be a negative reciprocal of -1/2. Good job. Yeah. Then from that, I know, line N, the B coordinate is 3 and 0. So y2 minus y1. So y2, and this C is x and y, right? We don't know it. But it's somewhere that lies on this line. But what I know about that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 must equal to negative half. So y minus 0 on x minus 3 equals negative a half. And we have one equation. I'll obviously fix this up, but I mean, we have one equation. You obviously need a second equation. Can someone tell me where we're going to find a second equation? You'll need a second equation. Say that again.
Would we make line?
One more time.
Would we make a line equation?
Yes. Can you tell me which one? Which line?
M.
M. No. L.
L.
Because
Okay.
C lies on L.
Okay.
So I'm going to make an equation of L. From that, I can just say, well, X and Y lies on that line, you will get a second equation. And that's it. So you're very close. So now that I've got this equation, which is, I'm just going to fix it up. Y equals negative half X minus 3. And let's just keep that at that for now. We need a second equation. So line L. Y minus Y1. Y1, I'm just going to choose 4. Equals M, which we'll get back to in a second. X minus X1. X minus X1, which is 0. But don't we already know the gradient? Because isn't the gradient just 2? Because parallel. So you get Y equals 2X plus 4. You plus the 4 over. And you're just going to solve that and that simultaneously. Go ahead. Let's get our coordinates of C. See how, again, no direction. So these are probably the hardest ones to do in an exam because there's no direction. You're just meant to know what it means when it says parallel, what it means when it says perpendicular. Let me know once you've got a coordinate, please.
X is 5 on 3.
X is 5 on 3 apparently. And then we need a Y value. Yep. Which 7 on 3 for the other one. So you got them exactly the same, 5 on 3 and 7 on 3? Negative 5 on 3 now.
Yeah, that's right. So, wait, no.
I'll wait for confirmation from someone else.
Yep.
What's yep? 5 on 3?
Yeah.
Okay, and 7 on 3. Let me have a look. Yes. Yes. Times by 2. Yes. Minus x plus 3, correct? That becomes a half. 4x plus x is 5x. Visualize the answer.
That was only something just 5x.
And that's pretty much 8, which is. So these guys.
1.
Yeah.
I'm always up like that.
All right, let me do it. You guys and your mistakes. You can't make these mistakes. Let me see. 2x plus 4 equals negative half x minus 3. Then I'm guessing you multiplied by 2, because that's just the easier way out. 4x plus 8 equals negative x plus 3. Then, when you move this over to this side, it's 5x. When you move this to this side, 3 take away 8 is negative 5. X equals negative 1. Yeah, but you don't have time for oops. You were looking at your work and you still said, oh, it's right. You should redo it. And given the opportunity, redo it. Even you, Tiana, you were looking at your work. It's very hard to realize where you've gone wrong if you're just going to look. You've got to actually redo it. Sub it back in. Negative 2 plus 4. You should get y equals to 2. Is that right? Always redo it. Redo, redo, redo. Only one student, one out of the Year 12s, actually did that this year. She redid the paper. She was ready. Redid the paper. You have to. You've got to redo the paper. Double line. A circle is drawn with center B and passing through C. The circle cuts line N again at D. Solve a pair. Let's go again. Let me rub this out. If I knew it was going to take us this long, I would have done it on another page. That doesn't matter. If you need the working out, just go back to the video. Everything should be there. All right. A circle is drawn with center B and passing through C. So it centers at B and it's passing through C. So obviously, something like that. Right? The center is at B and it's passing through C. Okay. The circle cuts line N again at D. Well, there it is. There's line N. Cuts it again at D. Solve a pair of simultaneous equations to find the coordinates of D now. Okay, to find D. D is now X and Y. Well, negative 1 and 2, right? We have this one here. C is now negative 1 and 2. What do you know straight away once you know that it passes through negative 1 and 2? What can you find out? The radius. You need to be able to find the radius of the circle, of course. So what we're going to do is find CB, the distance CB, because B is the center. It's passing through that, so you're actually finding radius. So distance of CB equals square root, what is it? 3 minus 1, 0 minus 2. So 3 plus 1, and then 0 minus 2. So your radius is 16 plus 4, root 20. That's your radius. But now, you know what the distance of BD is? The distance of BD needs to be square root of 20. You guys get that? So you'll do it again. For BD, distance of BD is the square root of x minus 3, y take away 0. Okay. X minus 3 squared plus y squared. But you know what that distance equals to? The distance of BD needs to equal to root 20. Cancel out your square roots, and you end up with this equation. X minus 3 squared plus y squared equals, and what's the second simultaneous equation? That's 1. Now you found your circle. What's your second one? Well, equation of line N. Yeah. So equation of this line here, N, which is, well, again, you know what the gradient is. So equation of N. Y minus y1, which is 0, equals the gradient, I think, was negative half, if I'm not wrong. And then x minus 3. Y equals negative half, x take away 3. You'll solve that. Number 2, please go and try that with number 1. Don't try to fit it into one little piece of corner. I'm just saying, don't try to do that. Really give this a shot, because this is a good simultaneous equation. Y equals x minus 3 all squared plus y squared equals. Solve simultaneously. All right, I'll give you guys some time. What I might do, just because I know I won't have time to do it here anyways. I don't have room to do it. Just paste them. All right, solve simultaneously. Okay, you guys able to get it out? Say it again? You don't know if it's, well, you can sub it back in. What do you mean? Of course you know it's right. You know the answer, you can just sub it back in. So here we go, my turn. X minus 3 squared plus y squared. I would have done negative half x take away 3 all squared equals 20. Something like that, is that right? And then I guess you would expand, would you? I'm thinking, give me a second. I wouldn't have expanded. I wouldn't have expanded only because I can see x minus 3 all squared and x minus 3 all squared. So what I'm going to do is this. And if you expand it, it's okay. So just my algebra obviously will be different a little bit. So it should still work out, but here we go. A quarter, x minus 3 all squared. If you had expanded, then you would have had a quadratic, and a quadratic you would have simplified, multiplied by the 4, bring everything to one side, and then use the quadratic formula. In my case, I can see that's 1 of these plus a quarter of these. 1 plus a quarter is 5 quarters. So 5 quarters of x minus 3 squared equals 20. I'm going to times by 4 and divide by 5. And I think you guys can see where I'm at. 80 on 5. 80 on 5 is 14? No, that's 7. 16. Pretty sure it should be 16. Exactly. 60. And then, yay, we got a nice number, square rooted, x minus 3 equals plus minus 4, x equals 3 plus minus 4, so 3 plus 4 is 7, 3 take away 4 is minus 1. Minus 1 I think is the other answer we had for C. So y equals, sub in 7 into, up here, negative half, 7 take away 3, 7 take away 3 is 4, 4 times negative half is negative 2, and of course if I sub in negative 1 you should get the answer you had before. Negative 4 times negative half is positive 2. So the answer we're looking for D is 7, negative 2. No? Did you get out 7, negative 2?
Change the first one to x term.
You changed the first one to an x term. Yeah?
And so
Yeah.
I got 2.
2 and 2 should have worked. So what he's saying he did, if I'm not wrong, you're saying you changed x minus 3 to just the letter m and then subbed it in? Oh no, you actually made x a subject.
Yeah.
Ah. It's fine. It should work out. Obviously, you've done a mistake somewhere. But my only thing I'm going to tell you is, why would you have made x a subject if you can see that's x take away 3?
Yeah.
If you can see it's x take away 3, why wouldn't you sub in that instead? Future reference. If that's x take away 3 and that says x take away 3, don't make x the subject, make x take away 3 the subject. So I'm saying you should have done this. 2y, negative 2y, equals x take away 3. Does that make sense? And then sub that in. So negative 2y, that's actually that's a lot smarter than maybe even doing the way I did it. There you go. And then 4y squared plus y squared equals 20, 5y squared equals 20, y squared equals 4 plus minus, sorry, that becomes 4, y equals to plus minus 2, and then you sub in y back in to solve for x. And then x should become, for when y is negative 2, x should become 7. For when y is positive 2, x should become negative 1. So yeah, you can make x a subject. It probably would be better, but you shouldn't make x itself the subject. If they're the same, make x take away 3 the subject, for example. Nothing fancy there. I mean, you guys could have expanded. If that was bad, redo it. Again and again and again. I said it a lot of times, just that's all you can do with math. You've got to repeat questions over and over again. All right, any questions other than the simultaneous bit? Anything you guys want to talk about with this? So it was done very slowly. I'm sure you saw me. I had to reread it maybe 2 or 3 times as well, and that's normal. Yep, that can be asked. Question 13. Two events A and B are independent, where probability of B equals 2 times probability of A. And the probability that A of union B is 5/8. What is the value of probability of A? What is the value of just P of A? I'll let you think about that for a minute or two. The key word there that you want to know is independent. Does anyone know what it means by A and B are independent? They don't share anything in common. So what do we definitely know about probability of A and B? There's 0. If they're independent, I would say probability of A and B is A. If they're independent, say like me and you are independent now. So we don't depend on each other. That means the probability of me occurring and you occurring would be probability of me occurring multiplied by the probability of you occurring. That's what we know about independent. Rather than you thinking of it in terms of 0. That's, I think you're thinking of mutually exclusive. Yeah, be careful. If something's independent, that means the probability of one occurs and the probability of the other occurs. It means it just multiplies. And does anyone know the formula for probability of A or U? P of A plus P of B minus. Do you know why? Minus? The fact that they meet together. So you're getting only the orbits, the ones that are by themselves. All right. Hopefully that should be enough to get you guys an answer. Good luck. Please memorize these formulas. You need them. You can't really do discrete probability without it. No, didn't work out. Didn't work out. That could be wrong.
What do you make this question?
No. I'm saying my formulas could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't to be wrong. And then there's 0.
Yeah, for sure.
We have better that.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to do it. And then done it before. I haven't done it. I need to go back to the unit. Never did it. So let's see if I'm not wrong. Probability of A and B is equal to PA times PB. So technically, P, A or B is 5 on 8. Probability of A is what we want to find. Probability of B is 2 times probability of A minus, obviously, probability of A times probability of B, which is probability of A times 2 times probability of A. It might look messy to a lot of you. I don't know why you wouldn't just go, let U equal probability of A. Who's stopping you?
I did that.
Yeah, good. I don't need to tell you to do that. You guys can do that at any stage of your life now. Why don't you just make things easy for yourself? So 5 on 8, U plus 2U is 3U, minus U times 2U is 2U squared. Now, doesn't this look familiar now? Looks like your good friend. Quadratic, old mate, times 8. 5 equals 24U minus 16U squared. Bring everything to one side. 16U squared minus 24U plus 5 equals 0. And then quadratic formula. But let me see if I can get it out without the quadratic. Yeah, I think so. 4U and 4U, 5 and 1. Would 4 and 20 ever get you 24? Yes. Subtract, subtract. But you guys don't need to necessarily do that. I guess I'm used to knowing if the question is annoying, the quadratic's easy. If the question is easy, then the quadratic's annoying. I guess that's the way it is. So U equals to 5 on 4, U equals to a quarter. So that means the probability of A, it can't be 5 on 4. Can it be now? No. Because you can't have 1.25 as probability. So the only answer we have is a quarter. I don't think the math was hard for that one. I mean, if you knew the U, it makes your life a little bit easier. But I think the most important thing you want to take out is in black. You just have to commit that to memory. Anyone have any questions about this one here? 2 events are independent, and then the rest was just formula work. And yeah. All good? Okay. All right, question 1. Baby questions. You don't know?
I saw the standard word, like you talk standard word, there's moving between gradients and percentages. That's so easy. That's so easy.
You say that now because you've obviously appreciated advanced math. But if you started off with standard, you would have still said standard is so hard, like all the other standard kids are saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I agree. Now you would say standard's easy. Yes, I agree with that. You started, you're only limited to that. It's like, I think of it in terms of, let's say, soccer. If you started in Division 3, well then you're going to think Division 3 is the hardest.
Yeah.
But if you went to Division 1 all of a sudden, you're going to say, well, Division 3 is easy. You've got to see the stuff we do in Division 1. So, I don't know. That's my view. All right, what's the answer? Negative 2 on 3, I think is right. Any questions? The derivative of EX squared. Unless we just know it. Derivative of EX squared. Don't look at the answers, they might confuse you. Try to recap. C. D now.
D.
D. Eden, is that what you reckon?
C.
D. I definitely reckon it's C.
C.
C. Oh, you're saying C. Sorry. The struggle is real, isn't it? C. The differentiate x squared is 2x, and then you rewrite your exponential. Derivative of the power, rewrite the exponential.
So what did I multiply them? So e to the power of 2x.
E to the power of 2x.
Because you multiply. Power on power multiply.
Right. That's not power over power. Good point. Let's raise that. This is actually x squared. You're exponentially an x squared. This is e of x, and you're actually squaring the whole thing. So there's a difference between them. This one is saying I had a parabola, now I want to exponential it. This one is saying I had an exponential, now I want to square it. And so this one is where you just said power to power. So be careful, two different ones. All right. First derivative, log. Looks familiar. I think have we done this with you guys? Fair enough. Must have been the Saturday class. I remember Rad answering. I don't know. Rad, are you here? No.
I think it was a Sunday.
Probably the Saturday.
Yeah. Done. Go ahead. It is given that log A equals log B minus log C. Which statement is true? Don't look at the answers. You'll only get it wrong. Just start from the expression given. And just use your log laws. Done? You think so? What's your answer, Tiana? B. I think you're right. Log A equals, if you're going to subtract two logs, what do? Divide. Then we exponential both sides, you just get A equals B on C. Good luck. Any questions? Okay. And number 7. D? B. B. Two different answers. We'll wait and see. Stefan, you finished yet? Tan theta, sine on cos. Cot theta, cos on sine, cross multiply, sine squared plus cos squared on cos theta, sine theta. I agree. The answer is B. 1 on cos is sec, 1 on sine is cosec. Any questions? Okay. So just the rationalizing and E. Well, just so that it's a bit easier to read. Those two. Okay, rationalize the denominator. Multiply top and bottom by root 5 plus 1. Answer should be 2 root 5 plus 2 on 4, which is root 5 plus 1 on 2. Is that correct? In the diagram, OAB is a sector of the circle with center O and radius 6, where angle AOB is 30 degrees. Find the exact value of the area of the triangle. The area of the triangle OAB, well, it's half AB sine C. Half times 6 times 6 times sine 30 degrees. You have to put sine 30 in the calculator, should give you root 3 on 2. A half?
Isn't that good enough?
Okay. My bad. Thank you, I'm sorry. Half, 6 times 6 is 36, a quarter of a half is 9. Is that right? Quarter of 36. Okay. My brain works funny. Don't worry.
Quarter of a half.
Quarter of 36 is 9. Find the exact value of the area of the shaded segment. You obviously need to find firstly the area of your half r squared theta, your sector, which equals to half 6 squared times pi on 6. If you didn't use that, because I usually don't, you guys could have used this other one, of course, pi r squared times 30 degrees on 360, whatever you're more comfortable with. Either one will work, but I think that's the one you guys are probably more used to by now because of your school teachers. Minus 9. True. Half r squared theta, which is the area of your sector, minus the triangle, gets me the area of my segment. So area of segment equals half, yeah, that's it. Nothing to do. I'm just going to fix it up. 36 on 6 is 6 on 2 is 3 pi minus 9. Is that right? Done something wrong?
I don't put how much I'm
What was your working out?
I used to pull them up.
R squared, open bracket, theta minus sin theta? Yep. That's the same formula. Ready? There it is. Half r squared in brackets, theta minus sine theta. There's your sine c. It's already done. Same formula. Oh. Same. Any questions? Next. Those two, G and H. Anyone say the answer straight away to H? Find the domain for square root of 3 minus x. What must the domain be? 3 minus x.
Less than
Or what? Is it less than positive 3?
no,
So you mean x is less than
yes,
positive 3?
yes.
Right. Yes. Yes. And equal to.
And
If you just write less than, you're wrong.
yeah, less than
X is less than or equal to 3. Yeah, in other words, it's where 3 minus x is bigger than or equal to 0. And then you can solve it. Good job. All right, G. We should know what to do there, right? You guys know how to differentiate from first principles. Because that's going to be in your exam. No, no, continue from now. I love it, Fiona. You keep laughing.
Yeah,
Is it because you're scared?
kind of stressed.
Just remember this feeling if you can. Really try to remember this feeling. And you don't want this to occur next term. So when you enter next term, because you're going to have a beautiful 2 weeks holiday, enjoy it because you get to start fresh next term. Nothing counts. 0, everything. 0. Clean slate, exactly. But you don't want to have this feeling in week 8 or 9 next term. Because now it's counting, it's year 12. So from week 1, you know you're going to have an exam. Even if they say it's an assignment, don't worry about that. Even if you're allowed to take a cheat sheet, don't worry about that. Assume you take absolutely nothing, it's an exam, full blown, study for it, feel this way from week 1. So then you don't have to feel like this in week 8. You just feel like in week 8, I'm ready, whatever. I already knew I was going to have an exam. Just think, if you can. Helps. Keep the stress levels down. All right, what's our answers? X equals
1
1.
and -1.
-1 on 3. Everyone's happy with that? -1 is -2. Absolute value is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. Easy. Anyone have any questions? Move on. Find the equation of the tangent. What do we do now? We've done 1,000 of these. Derive and then substitute back into
First,
Line equation.
equation of a line. But I think you meant well, let's just do it. Yeah, but you'll need this. Equation of a tangent is this line equation. But I think you meant maybe substitute the 1 in to get your gradient. And that's what you were trying to say. Yep, which is right. And then again on this one, please. Done. Yes. Here we go. Y dash, 2x plus 4, gradient of your tangent, sub it in, you'll get 6. And obviously your equation is y minus y1, x minus x1. And if you really wanted to, you could expand minus 6 minus 2 minus 8. Any questions? No? That's okay. Next one. What else do we have? Probability. Zoom it up. Give you guys a chance to do those. Okay, here we go. A spinner is marked with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When it is spun, each of the 5 numbers is equally likely to occur. The spinner is spun 3 times. What is the probability that an even number occurs on the first spin? Of course, 2 out of 5. What is the probability that an even number occurs on at least one of the 3 spins? That means it could have been, like there's a lot of them, so it could have been even and then odd, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, and so on, right? You're not going to do it that way, I hope. Because you know there's a lot. For at least one even, we'll do 1 minus the probability of odd, 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 which equals 1 minus, how many odds are there? 3 out of 5 times 3 out of 5 times 3 out of 5, which is cubed. 1 minus 3 out of 5 cubed. Anyone actually get double I out? They're fine? No? Sabine, were you able to get double I?
No.
No? Okay. Interesting. At least. At least you probably want to do the opposite. That's my clue to you. So you want to do probably the 1 minus. What is the probability that an even number occurs on the first spin and odd numbers occur on the second and third spins? Well, that's very, very easy. That would be even number on the first, and then odd number on the second, and odd number on the third. Why is that even a question? Who knows? Ivy, what is the probability? And I think you guys can see your HSC is not going to be hard. It's your school exams that I keep saying it will be hard. You guys laugh, you'll realize this. Your HSC won't be hard. It's your school ones I can't help you with, unless you want to really pick it up immediately. What is the probability that an even number occurs on exactly one of the 3 spins? That means even, odd, odd, plus odd, even, odd, plus odd, odd, even. So only one time. So one more time. Even, odd, odd, plus even, odd, even, odd, plus odd, odd, even. True? Only one time. Well, isn't that, 2 out of 5 times 3 out of 5 times 3 out of 5, whatever we just found, and then you're going to do that 3 times? So isn't that just the answer we found in triple I times 3? Or you could have added if you really wanted to. And then whatever answer that gives you. From the top of my head, it's probably going to be 6 on 125. That's my answer. I could be wrong. I'm literally just doing my head, cancelling. Should be right. But yeah. Okay. There's no questions. I'm guessing you guys checked it and it must be right then. Moving on. All right, let's move on. There's no questions. Move on. Using the cosine rule, find the value of x. Go. A. Let's do it. Using the cosine rule, find x. Do we know the cosine rule? Does anyone want me to write the cosine rule? All right then. If you don't need it, good luck. Yeah. No, you didn't need to do that. Okay, we're just doing A. You're not doing B. Sorry. Maybe. Okay. So, here we go. 13 squared equals x minus 4 squared plus x plus 4 squared minus 2 times x minus 4 times x plus 4 times cos 60. Cos 60 should be a half. Fair enough. So that becomes 169 equals x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus x squared plus 8x plus 16 minus 2.5 cancels out, so you're just going to get a difference of two squares in there, which is minus x squared minus 16. You'll get minus 8 plus 8 cancelling out, so you're left with 2x squared plus 32 minus x squared plus 16. So you'll be left with x squared, and what's that, 48? 168 take away 48 is 121. X should equal to 11. All right, have a look. Any questions? C squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. No? No questions? Everyone's happy with that? Move on. Just C. By letting m equals to t in a 2 power of a third, or otherwise solve. Does anyone realize how we're going to solve that? What are we going to use eventually? You can just say quadratic. You can just say quadratic, trinomials, factorizing. Good, substitute it.
No?
Sub it in. So we should get m squared plus m minus 6 equals 0. Factorize m plus 3, m minus 2, m equals negative 3, m equals 2. So far so good. T equals to a third, t equals to a third. And then obviously how do I get rid of the third? Cube it. Cube it. And same thing with this guy. So your answer for T is negative 27 and 8. It's because we're used
I'm trying to say cube, but then I'm thinking.
we're no, habit. When you're young, you said square root, square root, square root, square root, square root, square root. You never said square, square, square. So you're used to just saying square root. All the time. Any questions? Okay. Sketch.
Maybe velocity acceleration. Is that what it is?
Should be part of D12 because who's doing it, and it would be. You gotta check that out. The function is to be graphed. Okay, well, remember individual terms and think of the whole polynomial. The whole polynomial, that's going to be x squared times x times negative x. So what's your whole polynomial? Negative x to the power of 4. Where does the negative start from? Bottom. So the answer is C straight away. I don't even need to worry about the rest. But let's make sure it's true anyways. Cuts at 1, cuts at 1, cuts at negative 1, cuts at negative 1, bounces at 2, and it does bounce at 2. Exactly right. Done. That was an easy one. Yes, what is the mean? You have to do x times p of x. So sum of x px is equal to expected value of x. So sum of x px. No. What'd you get?
C.
C. Anyone confirm? I'll give you one now. You agree, Tiana? C? Hello.
Hi, I asked Emily if I could put a quiet in the room so I could think of avoid problems in my story.
Yeah, perfect.
1.8. Question 8. Yep, question 8. Question 8. Okay, here we go. Shouldn't have been too hard because it is a multiple choice, which doesn't mean anything about difficulty, but I'm saying it's a multiple choice, so the answers are there, and you should be able to just plug it in and it should be fine. pH value of a solution is given by this formula. Tyler tested a quantity of apple juice and it was at 3 times 10 to the negative 4. Sean tested ammonia, determined he had 1.3. What is their closest, which of these is closest to the difference in their pH level? So obviously all you're going to do is apple juice equals negative log 3 times 10 to the negative 4, because it's already base 10, so it's just log. Ammonia would be negative log 1.3 times 10 to the negative 9, and you're just going to subtract the 2, aren't you? So the answer was D. Again, anyone have any questions?
Put my calculator.
Yes.
Last 12.
Did you get LOG or LN? LOG. This one specifically, if you look, because it's a log 10.
Is it because base 10 it's Ellen?
No, other way around. Base E, it's L. But hold on. Maybe I should just do it the way we have been doing. Specifically, log 10 is LOG. If you do want to use LN, which is everything else, literally, even if it's a 7, 3, 2, you should be using LN. It's just 10 that it's log. Then you've got to convert your log with subbases to LNs. How do we do that? These got to be divided by LN10. So it'll look like this, Stefan. There. That's what you're meant to solve. Log, which is ln 3 times 10 over ln10 minus, and so on. So then that way, if there was any subbase, if it was 7, 3, 2, you have to divide it by log, or ln, 7, 3, 2. That's pretty much what you missed.
How can the log be negative?
No, log, it's not log negative. You're not logging the negative. The log can be negative. You're not allowed to log a negative. Have you forgotten your graph? So the graph of your log looks like this.
Yeah.
Isn't log negative all here?
Yeah.
But can you log a negative? No. So can log be negative? Yes. Can you log a negative? No. That's where you got those two mixed up. Stefan, all good, it worked out. And you divided it by ln10. Okay, move on. Here it is again. Your favorite. You go here, paste. All right. I'll let you read it for us a little bit for events A and B. Again, they're independent. So, I mean, that helps a little bit. It means something. Find the value of P.
What does the dash mean?
Dash means not. So the probability of not A, but including B. Oh, no differentiation. No. Not. Again, I'll just, I guess, give you a clue with a few things. Probability of A and B, because they're independent, it's probability of A times probability of B. What does this bit mean? Probability of, let's say, A and not B.
Just be aware.
Say that again.
Be aware.
P of A, probability of A. Probability of A and not B is just probability of A. No.
Probability of B.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Is everything except B in the outside, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you got to be careful. You can't just say that is probability of A. Otherwise, I would have just written PA.
Yeah.
Probability of A and not B. That means,
So yeah, please, probability of A.
no, hold on. Hold on. 1 minus probability of B is not really probability of A.
Yeah.
Because they're combined.
So we should do that. We'll do that.
Let's see. Hold on. Probability of A and not B. I'm thinking 1 minus that could be right. Or let me have a look at it in the Venn diagram. Sometimes it just makes it a little bit easier to see A, B. A and not B. So isn't it probability of this and this B? Yes, we can take away one bit. Domestic includes A. Pretty sure. Let's double check it. Just to make sure. Here you go, actually. I'm still through this. Question 12b. Just to make sure before I give you something wrong. Question 12. Yep, thought so. Exactly right. That's better. So, alright. Probability of A is equal to the probability of A and B plus the probability of A and not B. That's what you guys are missing. So like I said, you missed this fact here. That's probability of A. Does that make sense? And then again, probability of B is equal to probability of A and B plus probability of not A but having B. Is that what you use, Tiana? Probability.
Probability A not B.
Wait, probability of, say that again.
A and not B.
A and not B.
B of
A minus probability of A and B. Yeah, like that. So that becomes probability of A minus probability of A and B. Yeah. And we know what probability of A and B is. It's PA times PB. Okay. We're going to just use all of this put together. Here we go. Find the value of P. Okay. Well, start from the top. We know that probability of A and B is equal to probability of A times probability of B. Probability of A and B is P. Yes? Probability of A is A and B plus not A and B, so A but not B. So that means P plus A and not B, this one, P on 3. Multiplied by the probability of B, which is, again, probability of A and B, plus probability of A but not B, which is 2p minus 4. 2p minus a quarter. Sorry. Look at that for a second. I didn't really use this line because I'm not I wouldn't need to confuse you guys. PA, PB. Stefan, does it make sense what I've done?
Yeah.
So that is that. Sorry. That is P, and then PA is all of this, and PB is all of this. And I'm just substituting according to whatever the question was given to me. All right, go ahead from there. Solve for P. Solve for P. Three P plus P on 3. Common denominator, simplify this one. Next line, 4p on 3. Common denominator, 12p minus 1 on 4. Multiply it all in. 4p times 12p is 48p squared minus 4p on 12. Multiply your 12 over. And then I'm sure from there we should be able to do it. Minus 16p. Factorize your 16p out. You're left with 3p minus 1. So p equals to 0, which you don't want. P equals to a third is the one you want. P equals to a third. So again, have a look at each line. I hope it's what you would have done. Just common denominators. Simplified. Common denominator. Simplify this. Common denominator times by 4. Straight multiplying. So multiply over 12. Multiply it over. Bring everything to one side. Start solving. So what was harder about that? The probability or the algebra? I don't know, sometimes the algebra as well, those students can't do for that one. But yeah, of course. The probability, if you didn't know your formulas, again, it'll be really, really weird. So memorize them. All right, any questions? Yeah, close. Just a bit. All right, and we go again. 3D trig. Good luck. Seems an easy one. Well, then that means the questions are easy. They're your stock standard ones. Very nice. Where is it? Yeah. This one? This one?
Yeah.
Stock standard. I swear. They're laughing. They're like, oh, stock standard means it's exactly everything you always do. But you're making it up. I'm trying to say it's stock standard. Well, you might be right. I haven't read it. I just saw the formula. And I'm like, stock standard. This I is stock standard.
Yeah.
I know that. You're doing it either that way. But yeah, the I is stock standard. 100%. Just that's how it's going to work. As you normally do, what do you normally do? Remember that stock standard. What is your step one for this? Right, and then what do you usually do? On 0, then that's set condition 1. What's that condition 2? Would it set something else? It doesn't. Until it reaches its maximum, and then it decreases on the maximum. No, not for you. Cross.
The whole question is.
Yeah, out of the syllabus. Okay?
Oh, but you said it. You said it on the thing.
No, Newton's method. No.
What's the eyes on it?
That's why it's funny. I is, you should have seen what other on the top. Because on the time when this maximum occurs, you're talking about differentiating. If you haven't done maximum, that's how you talk about it.
Okay, no one.
That's
Where
why.
is it on? Would that be something like 8?
You have to differentiate it, literally, all you do is differentiate and equal to 0. So I don't even know, because it's equal. That's our first topic of equality. All right, an 8-meter high flagpole is situated on flat ground. The angle of elevation is 30 degrees, B is 45 degrees, B is south of the tower, B is south, and A is west, which means it's a right angle. Find the distance AB. I think we know what we usually have to do. You find BT. See what I mean by the HSE is easy? It's probably the easiest one you would get. Sorry? Yeah, I know. That's how the HSE is. You won't get that in the trials. At all. No way will you get that in the trials. Sorry? Yes. Yep. S, T, B, 45, 8. You first find TB. What was TB equal to? What did you guys get it at? 8 on 10, 45, which is just 8. Yeah. And then obviously you do the same thing for the other one. There's your 30 degrees. There's your 8. You want to find AT or TA. Again, did you guys get it out? 8 on 10, 30, I'm guessing. Which is what? Did you simplify? 8 on root 3?
Yeah.
Good, very nice. And then of course, Pythag. 8 squared plus 8 on root 3 squared equals AB squared. Please don't forget to square root it. The answer should be 64 on 3 plus 64, and then square root of that. 16? Just nice, that worked out very well. Apparently it's just 16. Good. All right. Let's see what else. Wait, anyone have any questions? Okay. Was I wrong with the stock standard for that one? All right, that's that done. Let's go maybe down a little bit to last year's HSC 2019. And let's find something. Seems like we haven't been doing these very well. Should we try these ones again? The probability ones? One more time. It's conditional. So this one you need another formula. Probability of A conditional to B is probability of A and B on probability of B. All right, calculate. Oh, look how easy that one is. I just gave you the formula, just multiply it. That one's easy. And then for not, maybe try to remember what we spoke about. But anyways, I'll leave that with you. And then triple A. The questions you've got, might as well take a photo of them. And it's everyone's start. So once we start, I can just get started on this. Okay, what was the answer for I? We said 213 times a quarter, which is 2 over 12, 1 over 6. What's the probability of not A and B? Remember, probability of B is probability of A and B plus the probability of not A but including B still. Correct? So A and B is 1/6. Probability of B is a quarter. Obviously, to get this one here that you want, you're just going to subtract a quarter and a sixth. Easy. 1/4 take away a sixth is 2 over 24, so 1 over 12, if we're not wrong. Yep, and the last one, the one you've done 1,000 times now, if the events A and B are independent, calculate probability of A union B. All right, what do you know about them being independent? What do you know about the intersection? No, that's mutually exclusive. Again, yes. Sorry? Probability of A and B is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. The two events are independent, so that means the probability of rolling a 6 and flipping a tail would be probability of rolling a 6, 1 out of 6 times flipping tail, half. That's the idea. All right, find probability of A or B, and that's the formula, the other formula. So probability of A or B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. So the reason why you need that is because you don't have probability of A, but from this formula here, you can easily work it out. There it is. Probability of A is equal to probability of A and B over probability of B. Is it? Probability of A and B is 1 on 6 on a quarter. So it's 1 on 24. Right? Probability of A is, remember we just did it. The probability of A is 1 on 6. No, that's a different formula. That's probability of A conditional to B. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize.
We will make mistakes.
Yes. 2/3. Is that what you were saying? 2/3? Cool. So 2 over 3. Perfect. And now you have that plus probability of B, which is a quarter, minus them being independent, which is 1 on 6. Oh. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yep, I am very happy with that. 2 over 3 plus a quarter minus 1/6. Okay. Any questions? All right. Any more? No, that's it. That was 2019 done. Not much prelims there. Did I miss something? Antiderivative. This one? Yep. Question 2, pretty straightforward. You're just going to sub it in. But again, if you're going to use log 10, you actually use log. If you're going to use ln, then it's going to be ln of the numerator over ln of 10. So on a decibel scale, the loudness L of a sound of intensity S is given by where S0 is a reference of intensity used for comparisons. How much louder is a sound of 47 than a sound of 27? Well, I think we know it. It's just 47 on 27. If you use log, then you'll just plug this into your calculator. If you want to use ln's, then you plug this into your calculator. And I'll give you the same answer, which is how many times? How many times? What did it become? 2 times?
This is of intensity S is given by
On the decibel scale, the loudness L of a sound of intensity S, yeah, the sound,
so how can you
sound intensity is S. Sound is, the intensity is 47. L is loudness. And it says S naught is a reference intensity used for comparing. So comparing 47 to compare to 27. So S naught is 27. Does that make sense?
where's the comparison from?
Say it again. Where's the?
The comparison is from
Why is it 20?
this 20 between the two.
Why is there 20 between?
Between 47 and 27.
Oh, no, S stands for sound.
Oh, it's S on SO.
S is 47.
Yeah.
Then a sound of 27. S naught is 27. No? Am I doing something wrong?
I'm looking at it as SO is
It's a reference intensity used for comparisons.
so the comparison between it.
Right, between 47 and 27.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. So you're saying this. You're saying do 10 log 47 on S naught. And then what? 10 log 27 on S naught. And then you're subtracting them technically. Is that what you're saying?
S naught was just 20.
S naught is 20.
Yeah.
Is a reference intensity used for comparisons.
Between them is 20.
No, then that means, that would mean this. It doesn't mean 20, it means it could be anything. It means it could even be 5, if that's what the way you're reading it. So give me a second. Let's see. So you're saying do that minus this. Like that. 10 log 47 on 5. You're saying it's any number then, if that's the way you're reading it, any intensity. Minus 10 log 27 on 5, which is 2 times. Just wait. Wait. If I did 20 now, 10 log 47 on 20, is that what you're saying the answer should be? Just 10 log 47 on 20?
Maybe.
Which is not
So
right.
what he's saying, you get the same exact result. If you put the top, yeah, you get the same answer. So if you put 10 log 47 on 20 minus 10 log 27 on 20, you get the same as what you get.
Yeah, I know. I just said that. It has to. Any number.
So put them all.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not wrong?
Yeah, no.
Okay. You confused me. Okay, all good. It shouldn't matter because any reference intensity.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like any number. So I chose 27 because it's there. You could have done 20. You could have done 5. But you're specifically saying 20 because you're subtracting. I don't think that was the idea. But anyways, all good. Let's not confuse everybody. It's already done. I know. All right, we'll leave it there for advanced. If you've got questions, please stay back. If you want to join the Saturday class, join the Saturday class at 12 o'clock. Just let me know. Those are doing extension. I will